host, Brad out of Hell. I'm just going to go check on Lilith Game Kitten so we can do the viewer takeover intro. I've been letting her play a lot of Resident Evil lately. She's only one. She loves VR. And she loves Jack for some reason. Lilith? You awake, honey? We're going to do the viewer takeover intro. Lilith? Sweetheart? Lilith? Lilith? Fucking hell, what the fuck? Fuck that. Fuck that.
This is Viewer Takeover. We film every Monday night and we bring it to YouTube. Oh wait, we didn't do it last Monday. Oh crap. Actually, we filmed. We just didn't bring it to you.
Yeah.
So we did half of this. But now this week, we're going to do both halves. The full thing. My name's Brian Paul from this channel right here. And gentlemen to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station VR.
How's it going? Hope everybody's recovering well from your 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, oh wow. You know, it was fireworks are going off. I didn't even realize it was going on. And of course, that gentleman to the far right-hand side of your screen. AJ, thank you so much for being here. I know the viewers at home have no idea what AJ's been doing, but let me fill you in. He was in Japan, sitting outside Capcom Plaza, waiting for the 18th to be the first one in line to play Mega Man VR. And we were like, dude, you have to come home to do Viewer Takeover.
I'm so glad you mentioned that Mega Man VR. You totally stole the words out of my mouth. And totally, Dave.
Must have been while you were kissing
I'm certainly recovering from July 4th. Hope everybody had a good one. Because all I did was stay home and play video games. Not really recovering from Dread Halls, though.
All right, guys, what we do here on Viewer Takeover is we like to thank a whole lot of people. The first person we want to thank, of course, is Brad out of Hell and the missing in action game kitten Lilith.
She straight up turned into a PSVR. That was like some great C-level horror. I don't know. Does it go past B movie?
I think we're into Z-level territory, but it was still great. That was again, we don't ask you guys to put that much work into it, but thank you, Brad, for putting that much work into your Viewer Takeover introduction. It was awesome. Listen, I gotta say, I think last time we did this, I told everybody we're keeping one Viewer Takeover video ahead. As it turns out, I was so wrong. There are so many. So if you haven't seen your Viewer Takeover intro, don't worry. I've got like 2 months worth of them to catch up on. So be patient. Yours is coming. If you sent it in the last 6 months, it'll probably show up relatively soon. Withoutparole@gmail.com if you want to get yours into the queue for sometime in September. Who else we want to thank? We want to thank these people down here, the illustrious game cats that went to Without Parole. Nope, that went to,
Where did it go?
I don't know, patreon.com / Without Parole
Games.
There we go. That was a teamwork right there. For just $1 or more a month, you can support this channel and keep it running. We thank you very, very much for doing so. AJ, who else do we want to thank this week?
Brian, we would also like to thank those who took the time to support us by changing their name to something GameCat related, something GameCat adjacent, as you and something GameCat adjacent would like to say. And this week, we have 2 new GameCats we want to welcome into the GameCat dojo. Starting with Imhotep, the Game Lion.
Roar! I feel like a roar isn't going to cut it with that.
Is it bad that I only know Imhotep from like the Mummy movies?
I think a lot of people know Imhotep first, at least primarily. Like I learned about him later outside of the movies.
I know he's probably based on some real historical figure, but
So
that movie has completely erased any like memory of actual history.
I only know Imhotep from the comments, so you guys are one up on me. So there's that.
We also have Nick the Game Cat. How?
Wow, that you guys made that into a spooky one. I like it. Nick, you're spookier than you thought you were, and I absolutely love it.
Getting close to Halloween, man. How much longer to Halloween? You know, it's always a party here around in October.
Yeah, the second the sun comes out and things start to warm up in summer, the very first thing I do is start counting down to Halloween. I'm like, man, when is fall going to be here? When are things going to cool down? And when are we going to get horror movies and more scary games and stuff?
Can't wait, man.
Can never come soon enough. But one of our newer additions on Viewer Takeover is Clip of the Week. And this week, the Clip of the Week comes from Loyal Game Cat or Loyal Game Bird, Woody the Bluebird. So let's check that out
Woody,
right now.
roll the clip.
I don't know about you guys, but that didn't happen to me in Saints and Sinners, and I'm a little upset that it didn't.
I know,
That's
right?
awesome.
These glitches in Saints and Sinners are like the kind that you would like hope to get. Like it's perfect. It's so meme worthy. It's
Right, it's not
beautiful, man.
game breaking. It's just hilarious.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Thank you for sending that in. If you guys want to submit a clip of the week, this is a new segment. It's always throwing me off. I don't know what to do. Make sure you just email me, upload it to YouTube, and then send me the link, and then we'll download it and do it that way. It's probably the easiest way to do it, rather than sending big files to my little Gmail account. But what we really do here on Viewer Takeover, Dave, is what? What do we do here, man?
Well, we take some questions, we answer them, and if Brian decides he's got enough time, we edit that into a show and we post it on YouTube.
That
And
is
if not,
how it
then we
works.
do all the same questions again the second week afterwards.
But we hope
So
for
this-
better results the second week.
We do.
If not, I just take
so-
the first week and edit it into this week.
So we've got 3 this week, unless you edit in some other one into this week. So who knows? There could be 5.
Anything's possible.
First one comes from Billy Paw. Oh, wait, we should tell people how they even leave one of these.
There you
for
go.
us. So we'll start with that. So you can leave a comment on any YouTube video or in our Discord in the hashtag Viewer Takeover channel.
Join our
with
Discord.
The hashtag Viewer Takeover in the link below is the Discord. And we pick 3 or 4 or 5 of them and we answer them. So first one is Billy Paw the Game Cat from PSVR this week. He says, hashtag Viewer Takeover. I'm sure you've heard, but Rockstar has announced they're making a AAA VR game. Do you think it'll be a brand new IP or a port of an existing Rockstar game? Big news, big stuff.
Yeah,
What do
we
you
should
think?
probably get the actual news out there to make sure everyone's on the same page here. I've got this from Video Games Deluxe. They're a Australia-based Sydney studio.
It's from the LinkedIn.
Yeah, this is from their LinkedIn. You nailed it. They stated that the company is currently hiring staff to build the VR game, and this is quotes from them. Quotes. Having finished the critically well-received LA Noire with the VR case files, we are now gearing up for a new project, a AAA open-world title in VR for Rockstar. 2020 marks our 7th year of working exclusively for Rockstar in Sydney, and we are excited to take on this groundbreaking project. What does this really mean?
It's Grand Theft Auto 5.
Everyone's going to jump to Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't think it's Grand Theft Auto 5.
What do you think it is, Dave?
I think so. The question said, "Do you think it'll be a brand new IP or a port of an existing Rockstar game?" Maybe neither, because they haven't done much new IP in a long time.
Right. It's Agent.
Like everything's a sequel or remake or remaster, or re-envisioning of something. So I don't know. I would be surprised if we saw a totally new franchise that we've never heard anything about. But
So you're
that would be
saying
a
they're
really
not doing anything?
well. I
What
don't
did you?
know.
What do they do it then?
Right, you said not Grand Theft Auto, but not a new
You said
IP.
not a. You said not a port or not a new IP. What are they doing?
I don't know what they're doing, man. How am I supposed to answer this question? You don't know either. What do you think?
We speculate, man. We do.
Yeah.
We do what everybody likes, and we just fucking talk out of our asses.
I think it's Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, look, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that that's what it is because I don't know. You don't know.
What
I
did they
think
say
it
in
could,
that blurb? Did they say a brand new thing? Brand new open world?
a new
game from
project,
Rockstar?
a new AAA
Let,
project.
let me,
I
let me get the
don't-
words right. Gearing up for a new project, a AAA open world title in VR for Rockstar. So a new project could be absolutely anything, because it's a new project for them. I think is what they're
Right.
trying to say. I think the important thing to note here is that it's not like we're going to see this anytime soon. Even if they are just porting Grand Theft Auto 5 into VR, I still feel like that is such a big world in a lot of stuff, all sorts of new control mechanics that you have to like kind of shoehorn into your old game. I mean, if they're just starting this now, if they're just hiring for this project, easily 2 years out.
Yeah.
Well, so AJ, to answer your question that you posed to me before as a gotcha,
Gotcha.
what I'm saying is that it's not going to be brand new IP or a port of an existing game. Probably it could be like the GTA version of LA Noire Case Files, where it is a smaller version of a game. It's in that world. There is such a precedent with Rockstar for spin-offs of GTA that are not main numbered entries. So it could be like a San Andreas or like a Vice City or something like that, where it's a smaller GTA experience, not entire, port of GTA 5.
I was just trying to get you to. I was just trying to get you to answer something because you were saying it was none of those, and I was like, well, then what is it? I could totally see that, and I could even. They said at the beginning of this that they had finished up L.A. Noire. It could even be. I don't think they would mention that, but it could also be another like L.A. Noire that they're doing.
Yeah, I really think that. I mean, Grand Theft Auto just seems like the easiest answer. Like these guys have proven that they can do open world, right? Like LA Noire, the only down part about LA Noire, the VR case files, or the biggest downfall that it had was that it didn't take advantage of the open world enough. Yeah. And so hopefully, hopefully they were like, okay, well, we're going to be doing this on PCs and consoles probably in about 2 years. So it's certainly not a PlayStation 4 game. And so they're going to really be able to blow that open world wide open. And the easiest thing for them to do, which I'm assuming is what they did for LA Noire, is take assets that have already been created, right? And Grand Theft Auto has been created and recreated over and over for all these different platforms. And if that's not the answer, then I'll actually be totally shocked.
You said that one of the biggest things was that they didn't get the open world right. I want them to just get the damn controls right and like a built from the ground up thing here, because if you remember, the controls in LA Noire were awful. I liked the game, but the controls were terrible, and everything that was supposed to be like immersive was not. If you wanted to climb a ladder, you'd have to click and point on it, and then or point and click on it, and then it would like just fade away and teleport you up there. I want to be able to do these things that I couldn't do in LA Noire, where it was like, you grab, you climb, the driving, I think we all agree was magnificent. The driving was absolutely awesome. But in terms of like action, shooting, cover system, stuff like that, definitely hope that they refine that no matter what it is, that they do that better this time.
Yeah, I'm excited, man, because it's like I think they got that feedback from everybody, and now that they have a chance to really build something from the ground up and really start looking at new locomotion options and seeing how all these different people have been doing locomotion and turning and just simple things like climbing ladders. If I was a development team working on such a big project as big as a Rockstar developed game or a Rockstar IP, then man, those kind of things would excite me. It's like, how do we take this established universe and make it even more immersive? I think that's our answer. Right on. Well, the next question comes to us from, I guess, should I take this?
Yeah.
All right. Good. I didn't have my list up, so I was asking you guys to stall. This comes from J Meow on Discord. He says, #viewer takeover. Has 2020 been the best year for PlayStation VR? What a loaded question.
Very interesting, Mr. J Mal.
So the first thing we did when we saw this question was to kind of create a list of not all of the best games, but a bunch of highlights from each year. Let me tackle 2016 here. I'll kind of ramble off a few of these, and then we can all swap off for different years. 2016 was obviously the launch year for PlayStation VR, so we get the headset, which makes it amazing. To 2016, as we were talking about before the show, Dave was saying 2016 is at a disadvantage because we didn't even get this thing until October. But not only did we get it in October, but we also got the good side of this is that we got a ton of launch titles and the headset itself, which I think makes up for missing most of the year. So besides the headset, we got Rush of Blood, Battlezone, Eve Valkyrie, Robinson the Journey, Riggs, Thumper, Here They Lie, Drive Club VR, Job Simulator, The Playroom VR, Batman Arkham VR, Eagle Flight, Rogue One Mission as part of Star Wars Battlefront.
Battlefront.
Yeah, I would say Battlefield. I always have to think about it. Res Infinite, and of course, there's going to be plenty of others, guys. But those were the ones that jumped out at us immediately and kind of brings us back to 2016. A pretty good year overall. Who wants to tackle?
A damn good year when you consider, launching with the headset and having, unlike the PSI camera when it launched with PS3, it had nothing. It had Sports Champions, which was great. But it had Sports Champions and one or two other things, and that was it. It was pretty weak launch lineup with it.
Yeah, so for 2016, I mean, these are games that we still talk about regularly. Even though these are launch titles, Battlezone, Rush of Blood, these are constantly in front of mind for me. So even though they're old, they feel just as good as anything that came out last month. You know what I mean? So launch titles were really, really good for PSVR.
I mean, you nailed it. We see so many of these still. A lot of these come into play every time we do a top 25 debate. So man, people might talk about how PlayStation VR had a rough start with a lot of experiences or whatever. But man, you look at this and you're there's a lot of solid full-fledged titles. I feel like it really hit the ground running. So not a bad start.
Yeah, for sure. And there's stuff in here that even if it wasn't top 20, I would put in the top 40 or 50 easily. A lot of these games, Resident Infinite, Eagle Flight, Job Sim, Here They Lie. You love Here They Lie. I mean, that's a lot of good stuff here.
So for 2017, we've got Resident Evil 7, Paranormal Activity, Farpoint, Skyrim VR, The Solus Project, Arizona Sunshine, Super Hot, Raw Data, Invisible Hours, Static, Gran Turismo Sport, Doom VFR, Rec Room, and Dirt Rally.
It's a lot of stuff.
I love that I wrote Durst Rally, it's Fred Durst Rally. Holy crap, man! Resident Evil 7 this year wins. I mean, hold on. Let's pretend like the rest of the years matter. No, but seriously, Resident Evil 7 and Paranormal Activity. We got at least 2 scary games this year, and I'm sure there were plenty more that I didn't put on the list. And then I know Arizona Sunshine's super popular. Man, it's this is really, I feel like. I don't know how we look back at these years or how we previously look back at these years, but when you see all of these games together, it almost seems like 2017 PSVR was really hitting its stride, and there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of diversity coming out, a lot of diverse genres.
Wait till we talk about 2018. It's going to blow your mind what happened in 2018.
I can't wait to find out what happened.
From this 2017 list, we have 7 that were featured on our last 25 top 25 list. Yeah, 7. Wow. So that's a lot for just 1 year. Of course, Farpoint being my highlight from this year, where I got the aim controller as well.
Yes.
Aim controller is the greatest thing ever. Farpoint is one of, if not my favorite PSVR game. It's it's top 3, top 4 for me. So huge year for me personally.
Yeah, this year has some really heavy hitters, but then also there's some stuff that flew under the radar generally, but it's still some of our favorite stuff, Static, Invisible Hours. These are games that they're not going to be on everybody's mind all the time, but they stand out to me as something that was interesting and well done. And even if they're not the Resident Evil 7s of the world, they still add something valuable to the PSVR library.
But what is a Resident Evil 7? What is? Nice. All right, Dave, I think you're up for 2018 then. Blow me away, my friend. Blow me away.
We got Moss, Persistence, Astrobot, Beat Saber, Firewall, Borderlands 2, Tetris Effect, To the Top, Sprint Vector, Wipeout Omega Collection, Pixel Rip 1989, In Depth. What did I miss? I went out of order, but
you
only missed In Depth, and then you got it at the end.
Yeah.
Dude, you had me at Wipeout Omega.
Yeah, well, I had myself before that. I listed Persistence, Astrobot, Beat Saber, Firewall, Borderlands, Tetris Effect. This for me might be the year, man. That's a heavy hitting year.
Yeah.
That was such a crazy year because it started off with just Sprint Vector and Moss, which were great, but then we had quite a long stretch until spring. We got Wipeout, and I got Prada, and then then summer hit. We got Persistence, and then they just back-ended the hell out of this year. It was Tetris Effect, Astrobot, Beat Saber, Firewall 0 Hour, and this year, and then of course it capped off with Borderlands 2. This year was huge. As of right now, and going in this list, I would say at this time, this is the best year so far.
This is crazy, man, because
that we've spoken of. Yeah,
because when Beat Saber launched, I was like, leading up to it, I was like, man, I hope it delivers. Because really, Beat Saber was our first Gorn. It was like, when is Beat Saber coming out? When is Beat Saber coming out? And it was constantly like we're getting mixed messages. We didn't have like concise answers. We had like release windows, and then like it was just nonstop speculation and just like, man, I really hope this game delivers. And when it came out, it really delivered, and I liked it. But I didn't fall in love with it until like this year. I didn't spend like I've spent a majority of the time I've ever spent with Beat Saber in the last 2 months. You look at my game clock, it says like 30 hours. Like 25 of those are from like just recently. Like I am in love with that game, and it's easily one of my top 3 games. So that game alone puts this year like kind of like to the top of my list. Amazing. Oh, am I back up? Am I back up for 2019?
I think you are.
Woohoo! 2019, here we go. We got, starts off with a bang. Blood and Truth, No Man's Sky Beyond, Trover Saves the Universe, Everybody's Golf, Ace Combat 7, Golem, Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted, Ghost Giant, Immortal Legacy, Zing, The Land Beyond, Table of Tales.
You wrote Table of Tables.
Damn it. I was hoping no one was going to say that. LA Noire, The VR Case Files. Who runs this show? Demo Reborn, Audica, Vacation Sim. Man, and those were like, again, we just grabbed like the ones that immediately jumped out at us. So many amazing games in 2019. And Blood and Truth being one of them. Like, Blood and Truth was like, hey, here's this crazy action, AAA blockbuster movie. And then Immortal Legacy came along and did it right.
You take that back.
I hate Brian.
You take that back.
Why am I trolling on my own channel? What am I doing?
Yeah. You make me hate a game I love. Like, why do you do that to me? Obviously, Blood and Truth is to me like is a flagship PSVR title. Mm-hmm. I know No Man's Sky Beyond came out as well. That's one of my favorites. But when you're talking about the way a game was executed, and I just believe that Blood and Truth was this AAA in terms of graphics, and the story behind it, just basically what it did. It executed what it did the best. And of course, Ace Combat 7 is like still to this day one of my favorite experiences ever on PSVR. So absolutely. I think a very, very solid year, but it did feel a little slower this year than it did before.
I mean, 2019, man, it's like, I just love the variety we see here. Like, all sorts of different genres. Ghost Giant, like, made me cry, right? It's like
all of us, yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Like, what a kind of like a breakthrough in storytelling. But really, like, on its surface, it doesn't seem that. And when you experience it, it's just so much more than that. Then LA Noire, the VR Case Files that we talked about before, like, control-wise, totally sucked. But, man, it did so many things well that like I just wanted more of that. Give me 20 more missions.
Right.
I think this year is kind of interesting in that it had some things, quite a few things that we didn't even know or ever think would happen. Golem, for instance, we were like, this thing is never coming out. No Man's Sky Beyond, I personally had been saying for years, there is no way No Man's Sky is coming to PS4. Yeah, right. OG PS4, you idiot. And then it came out, and I'm an idiot.
And it was great. That's the surprising part. Same thing with Golem. It's like we all were like, if it comes out, it's going to be trash, and it really wasn't, man. Like that was amazing.
It was a nice surprise.
And then the surprise release of LA Noire. I didn't think we were getting a Rockstar game, and then just boop, here you go. It's there. It's in the store. Have fun. So lots of surprises in 2019.
Who's got the last? Oh, is that you, AJ, for 2020?
I think that's me. Yeah.
Right.
With 2019, also you could say it was the year of the first GameCat meetup. 2020,
we have a winner.
This year, obviously we're only halfway through the year, but awful start to this year. But then we did end up getting a couple things like Separation, Paper Beast, Shadow Legend, The Room VR, Dark Matter, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Pixel Rip 1995, Gorn, Iron Man. And then we, of course, have some huge announcements that we're still waiting on, which is Dreams, the 22nd of this month, Vader Immortal this summer, Pistol Whip, the 28th of this month, and Star Wars Squadrons.
Ooh, October
and
can't come soon enough.
Potentially Minecraft, too.
Right.
You didn't put Minecraft.
I did not put Minecraft on there. Man, and it's like, I mean, I think we can rope in the announcements into this conversation, but since we don't have the games... we just have to be like, oh, man, we're excited about these announcements, and that makes it a good year. But until we get the games and actually can confirm for ourselves that they turned out great, I guess we kind of have to leave that out of the conversation.
Well, I don't know because Dreams we've played around with flat screen. We know the possibilities, and from that little teaser trailer, it looks like there's some real VR interactions there that you can, pulling levers and doing all this stuff. So really, Dreams is going to be as good as whatever people make in it. I think so.
That's
That's
true.
not even worth speculating that it's going to be bad. I don't think we would say that it's going to be bad.
Right.
Vader Immortal, I've played all of Vader Immortal already. You won't be
Also true.
disappointed. You won't be blown away, but you won't be disappointed. Pistol Whip, also very, very good. I've played that game. Nothing to worry about. You guys will like it. Squadrons, I just have in my mind that this game has to be good and it will be good. I can't see how it could be bad. But
Oh God, please don't let me live to regret hearing that statement.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think you will.
This year has easily been the best year for announcements. Like I said, started off really slow. We did get Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, which was huge for us. Huge. Top 5 game easily. And we still have, in terms of like, I don't think there's been a year where it's like, oh, this is coming out. Oh, this is coming out. This has just been announced. This been announced. And it's like, oh my God. Usually even in 2018, it was like Astrobot was kind of like, hey, Astrobot, this game called Astrobot's coming out. It wasn't even at E3. It was like before E3, and it was
like
announced
a pre-show or something, right? Or not
like
even.
yeah, it was announced like in a blog or something like that, or a pre-show or a blog. I think it was just a blog with Evasion, and yeah. So in terms of games, I think 2020 has the potential to take the crown for this. I think it does. If any of these games live up to expectations, as well as whatever else we haven't even heard yet, Dreams could be huge. Walking Dead obviously was huge, but at this time, I think 2020 has the best announcements so far. But I'm still gonna say 2018 is still the best year for PSVR in my opinion, as of right now.
You said 2018.
Yes, in terms of the games that came out, that we played, that delivered. 2018 is the best year right now. So,
What do you got, Dave?
I think 2020 is the most hype year of all the years because it's got like big franchises: Iron Man, The Walking Dead, Darth Vader, Star Wars Squadrons, all this stuff. And Dreams just itself is a huge, huge, huge thing. Like something we couldn't have even imagined when the PSVR came out.
Right, absolutely not.
So I just think there's so much excitement around this year, even if there aren't as many games that end up being as high a level of quality as some of the other years we've seen. Like 2018, obviously there's a ton of really good games in there, but they're not, big franchises that people know about and get excited about. They're not pushing people to go buy a headset as much as some of this other stuff. So I think in terms of getting people excited about VR, this is one of the best years.
yeah.
There's a lot for people to look forward to if they don't have a VR headset yet. And,
So you're calling 2020 the best year?
maybe.
Well, I'm gonna
Technically-
give you a definite answer.
Okay.
Definite answer, despite
Actual.
the actual. My favorite year, and this goes against everything I think I've ever said in my life, because Resident Evil 7 is my favorite VR game of all time, and playing it in VR, it is probably my favorite game of all time. Period. And so for me, that should win. That 2017, that should win it automatically. But looking at these lists and seeing how much I loved Blood and Truth and Immortal Legacy and Ghost Giant and Table of Tales and L.A. Noire and Demo Reborn, even Audica eventually, it grabbed me, and I hated it at first. I think 2019, it has quantity and it has quality. Where like 2017, man, the highlights were amazing, but then there was a lot of downtime. I think 2019, just really looking at this list, was such an amazing year. And I think 2019, for me, is the best PlayStation VR year yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised I said it, but looking at this list, like this,
Yeah.
I had so much fun with all of those games.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Last question comes to us from
Nihilist Ryan, the game feline from the Discord, says hashtag viewer takeover, says I'd like to hear everyone's take on the upcoming Catwalk C omnidirectional treadmill. Should we or shouldn't we?
Okay, first of all, how much does this thing go for? Did we figure that out?
It's like 800 is what they're saying, but it's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being like 1500 though.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fact number one, right? Fact number one is that it's really expensive. Fact number two is that even an inexpensive device like the 3D rudder couldn't get a lot of support from a lot of developers, right? All you're really doing is replacing an analog stick, and we're still having a hard time getting support for that thing in a lot of games, right? So
To be fair, I'm sure as many developers ended up supporting it as actual end users purchased the product.
so 7 is that?
Yeah, it's like something like that.
Okay. So I'm just thinking to myself, it's like if this was designed for a home market and thinking about all the consumers that would actually purchase this thing at such an outrageous price point, like there's such a small number of people that I can't see a lot of developers going, well, we're obviously gonna like take a lot of development time and money to figure out how to implement this into our game. I just don't see that happening, which is a major hurdle from the get-go.
Yeah, it's weird. There's like two diverging markets for VRs. There are people who say no one will buy VR or get into it. It will never take off unless you make it like the size of sunglasses and no wires, and it's super seamless, super frictionless. It's just easy to use and it just works.
Right.
And then you got stuff like this that's specifically for enthusiasts who have like a VR room in their house where like they don't mind if stuff is unwieldy and expensive and whatever. So there's the mindset of we need to make things as easy as possible for people, or we need to allow these people who have a bunch of money and want to spend it to make it as complicated as they want to. So I think both will continue to exist. They're not going to sell a lot of these things. There's not a huge market. I don't have space for one, and even if I did, I'd rather just have thumbsticks. To be entirely honest, I just want thumbsticks.
Yeah,
I don't need to run on a treadmill.
Are you a gamer? Are you an athlete? Like, which one of these things? Like, are you playing VR for? Are you in there for one thing or the other? And a lot of games cross over, right? A lot of games I'm like, oh man, I absolutely love Beat Saber because not only am I having a good time, but I'm also getting a good workout. But I don't need to run in place to like really feel immersed in these games.
I don't know. Maybe if this catches on, it could birth a new race, the gamer athlete. The
gathlete. The gathlete.
The game.
That doesn't sound very good.
I don't really understand it because it's hard enough just to get people to freaking swing their arms like in like sprint vector or something like that. Everybody complained about that, and that's just swinging your arms.
Right.
And now you want me to hook up to a giant human gerbil hamster wheel thing, and no, like I don't want that. I'm with you, Dave and Brian and everyone probably. I just want like joysticks. Like I'm happy standing in one spot and being able to, I feel plenty immersed. Maybe some limited like ducking for cover, a little bit here and there adds to the immersion. But yeah, I want better tracking. But yeah, I thumbsticks. I love Sirento because I can do backflips. I don't need a trampoline to make my VR more immersive in Sirento. I feel immersed doing these things, having the ability to do these things. You just got to design the game to let it go. Just let it have fun and let me do backflips. Let me run around. And yeah, joysticks are the ultimate solution.
Yeah, I can't wait till this is a thing because we already have people saying that if you're not using the Move controllers, it's not real VR. If you're using a DualShock 4, it's not real VR. And I'm like, man, have you put on the headset? Have you just put on the headset? Like, screw even using a controller. Just like look around. That is real VR and it's amazing already. It's like, so anything we add to it is cool, but I don't like personally. This is a personal thing for me. I don't want to put on a haptics vest to like feel shot when I get shot. I don't want to run on a treadmill to feel like I'm actually running. Because you know what I could do? I could go outside in my neighborhood and get shot for real and run for real because you step outside after 2 a.m. and that's probably going to happen to you, right? I don't actually want that. I want to get into a game and pretend I'm shooting a gun, and I don't need to feel like I'm getting shot when I get shot.
With 25% the effort.
Like, do you think Uncharted
way less expensive?
Would Uncharted be a popular series if people had to actually climb as much as Nathan Drake does in Uncharted? No, Nobody would want to play that goddamn game.
Right, simple arm movements do the trick. Is like,
yeah. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, this is so. So this is not. This is obvious. There's going to be a sect of people out there that this is absolutely for. The people I was talking about that need the haptic vest, that need everything,
Totally cool.
and they want to make it as immersive as possible. And for you guys, I am so glad that it exists. But man, I am a gamer, and if I'm playing a game with Move controllers or for DualShock 4 or whatever, that is my priority. My priority is that I'm playing a game and that I'm enjoying it and having fun. I know everybody wants VR to be as immersive as possible, and I feel like I'm already very, very happy with the immersion. And like AJ said, now just give me analog sticks. I'll be thrilled.
Analog sticks and just keep developing those core game mechanics. Just more games like, you know, Astrobot or Resident Evil and Walking Dead. You know, just more core game experiences that you would have on a flat screen. Keep bringing that to us, and integrating this immersive technology with it.
100%.
The other thing I want to just throw out there is for VR in general. If one of your use cases is not this can be used for something porn related, you're not going to sell that much of it. And the treadmill cannot be used for anything porn related, I guarantee you. Totally useless as far as that goes. Unless you want to run after a lady, that seems like a weird. I wouldn't want to play that game. Let's cut this whole part out. Cut this whole part out.
Wait, I can't. Do we have to cut it out? That was hilarious.
I love that.
Yeah, you can keep it. You can keep
Okay.
it.
Oh man.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching Viewer Takeover with us. Make sure that you submit your Viewer Takeover introduction by sending it to withoutparole@gmail.com. Keep in mind, there's a lot of you in the queue. I apologize that we're so far behind, but we only do one of these a week, and we get more than one a week, so that's how we fall behind. But thank you very much.
Sometimes we don't even do one every week.
Again, my
Ryan.
fault. I know, my fault. I know these guys put in so much time and energy. I asked 30 minutes for Viewer Takeover. But yeah, guys, also make sure you support us on patreon.com/withoutparole.
Games.
And what else do we need to know? Change your name to GameCat. Put hashtag GameCat in the comments below so we can give you a shout out on next week's show. Also, I don't know. I think that's it.
You can follow me on Twitter.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
If you're not gonna plug my YouTube, then at least follow, like, plug my Twitter.
Well, AJ, isn't your Twitter handle and your YouTube name displayed on the screen for the entire show?
Yes,
This thing right here, guys.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's
Yes, it is.
Follow these things.
God, I wouldn't want to follow somebody with an attitude like that. I'll tell you. Guys, but thank you guys. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Cats. This has been Viewer Takeover, and we're out.
Yeah, it's weird. There's like two diverging markets for VR. There's the one where people say, okay, you have to make this as seamless, as frictionless as possible, the smallest possible headset. No.
Whoa, I like where you froze. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.